Yeah, hello everyone, Nervin Reacts here, and welcome back to another video. Yeah, the exciting news is Salmonella Academy is back again. Back again after almost a year, or maybe over a year now. Yeah, my last video with my last reaction video of his animal names thing didn't go well. So yeah, because that's all sciencey. I'm a history guy, so yeah. So this video of his we're reacting to is ZongChang, the Dogmeat general. Now I went to Chinese school for around kindergarten to until junior high, and I can't exactly tell you that's how you're supposed to say it, because Chinese characters have intonations as to how to say it. Like some go like like a e I o u. If there's like a thing on top which a line goes from down to up, then it goes ah. So yeah, I can't tell you that's exactly how you're supposed to say it, but since it's not showing the Chinese characters, I'm not too sure. So yeah. Anyway, let's just get to it. I don't know much about this guy other than the fact that he was born and lived from late 19th century to early 20th century. So yeah.
Hey kids, today I've got another character study for you.
Hey Sam, welcome back.
A man known as ZongChang. In 1881, he was born into poverty in the Shandong region of China. His father was a head shaver. Not a barber, mind you. If a head shaver's a barber, then a ditch digger's an architect. He also moonlit.
If head shaver's not a barber, I'm horrified to learn what it actually is, so I'm not going to search what it is.
As an alcoholic. His mom, meanwhile, was a literal practicing witch and exorcist. Already a recipe for success. Zhang
Yeah, sure. What can go wrong with parents like that?
Joined a group of roving bandits at age 20, as one does, right around the Xinhai.
I mean, who doesn't? It's just a bros night out.
Revolution, where the Qing dynasty was overthrown and the Republic of China was established. But in 1916, the kidneys of the nation's widely disliked monarchist leader done shat the bed, causing a power vacuum that ultimately led to what is known as the warlord era of the Republic. During this time,
also known as basically Chinese history in a nutshell, because this is not the warlord era.
Different regions of China were constantly shifting hands between a collection of separate military groups, all of whom were...
What I was going to say was, after Sam said his part, was that this is not unique to 20th century China. The Chinese warlords have always been part of Chinese history ever since the dawn of civilization. And it's not unique to China also, it's unique to medieval Europe with, feudalism, and also Japan, Korea, etc. This is not unique. The thing that makes Chinese warlords is unique is just how rampant it is.
Were ruthless both to each other and to the people they ruled over. And through charisma, favors to the right people, and a keen sense of military pragmatism, our humble highwayman soon came to be one of these warlords. Now Zhang was quite skilled as the leader of war.
I wonder how old was he when he came to power as a warlord. I'll have to look that up later on Google. I'll look that up later.
The Russian Civil War, he recruited thousands of fleeing white Russians, not beverages, but
must not be a fan of communism if he's recruiting white Russians.
Bolshevik butchers, which bolstered his battalions and brought big bonuses to his bloodshed. He also made efficient use of armored trains, which proved to be highly cost-effective at...
That is a horrifying image of Thomas. Ugh. And that hand right there, even more, is just as horrifying as this face.
Transporting large amounts of troops and supplies. But that's not what you people care about. You want some clownage. Well, rest assured, Zhang was quite the character. Now, we all know the age-old debate between positive and negative reinforcement. On the one hand, if you treat people well, you'll probably get the same treatment back later down the line. But on the other hand, nobody's ever taught a tiger to jump through flaming hoops with just pets and temptations. And if you think that's messed up, that's because, well, yeah, it is. Circuses are fucking evil. But like
Yeah, when you're a kid and you see something like that, you're gonna be like, "Ooh, that's amazing! How did they do that?" But as you get older, you realize, yeah, it's pretty messed up as to how they're able to do it.
All great leaders, Zhang knew how to appropriately apply both the carrot and the stick. As an example of the former, he defeated the forces of enemy General Wu Peifu largely by convincing members of his army to defect, with the promise that they could keep their original rank after switching sides, which he fulfilled. But then he was like, yeah, I don't know if my loyal men would be too happy about being outranked by...
He's either gonna pay them or promote them to higher rankings than the new recruits.
Strangers. Well, only one solution here. All my guys are ranking up. Problem was, so many officers were promoted that Zhang literally ran out of gold and silver to make new insignias. He was like, I gotta think about this. Went out for a smoke, looked down, hey, wait a minute. And had the rest of the emblems made out of the colorful foil found in cigarette packages.
Wow. Wow. This goes to show that in terms to some inventions, like people think, ooh, I'm gonna make this because I have all the time in the world to do it. No, sometimes desperation is what fuels people to do stuff, so yeah.
It's said that during the promotion ceremony, people would look down and notice their little star already had a rip in it before the event was even over. But hey, there's still a colonel or poobah or whatever now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, if I was a soldier and my commanding officer's promoting me from like a lieutenant to a major, but he gave me like an aluminum foil medal, I'd be like, well, this is a bit disappointing, but hey, I don't care as long as I'm a higher rank now. So yeah, I get to boss people around. So yeah.
They can't complain. On another occasion, he proudly announced that he would either win an upcoming battle or return home in his coffin. And though Zhang was many things, he was not a liar. So after he ended up retreating, his men paraded him through the streets in a casket while he waved and sheafed on a cigar.
Wow. I don't know how to feel about that, whether to be amazed by that or to be like, man, you lost. Why are you all acting all, oh yeah, I'm so great and amazing, oh yeah.
You're probably wondering why they called him the Dogmeat General. At this point, my head was swimming with lurid fantasies about him eating dog flesh, or wearing dog flesh, or eating dog flesh. Turns out, nah, he was just real into Pai Gao, of which the act of playing was colloquially referred to as eating dog meat.
I know I'm gonna sound like a villain here, but yeah, I was kind of really expecting him to eat dog. He was called that because he ate dog meat. Not that I'm proud that, not that I wanted him to eat dog meat, because I have a dog of my own, super cute, super cute, and I love her and whatnot. But yeah, a little disappointing.
And also because he ate dog. He was also.
Never mind. I stand corrected. Wow, what did that say?
Eating dog meat, and also because he ate.
No. Chow chow dog. What on earth is a chow chow dog? Okay, in regards to this, weirder stuff has been done throughout history in terms of men's virility.
He was also sometimes jokingly referred to as the three don't knows, since he didn't know how much money he had, how many concubines he had, or how many men were in his army. Well,
now, as a politician, especially a warlord, the first and the last one you definitely have to know, because if you don't have the money to pay your army, they're obviously going to overthrow you. And if you don't know how many soldiers you have in your army, how are you gonna defeat your enemy if you don't know whether you outnumbered them or not? As for the second one, nah. Not really that important to know.
Funny, there was some truth to the nickname, which did sometimes cause issues. Some were minor. For one, he had a lot of trouble remembering the names of the 30 to 50 women of all nationalities in his harem, but he got around this by just assigning them numbers. Number 4 is real flexible, 27 makes a killer quiche. Watch out for 14, she's a biter. And
as horrible as this is, since he's a warlord, it's nothing to be surprised about.
so forth. Other times, things got a little more dire. Later in his career, Zhang became the military governor of the province of Shandong, and while the warlord life suited him, domestic affairs were another story. Rampant human rights violations aside, the whole thing was just way poorly managed. For example, while Zhang did collect taxes on everything from theater performances to tobacco examination licenses, relatively little of his extortions went towards his war efforts or anything practical.
This is not surprising in the least, since he's a warlord, not to mention an autocrat.
Most of it being funneled into vanity projects and his own personal riches. So how did he fund his army? Well, for those playing at home, it's time to take a shot, because Zhang printed tens of millions of dollars worth of paper money in the form of military stamps with no reserve to back them up. Obviously, massive inflation ensued, but Zhang just said no, insisted the stamps had a 1-to-1 conversion with real money.
Oh, so he's one of those people who think printing money is a way to just print money when it's not.
And continued paying his men at the same rate. Fortunately for them, the invisible hand of the market is no match for the very visible fist of the soldier, because they just kick old merchant ladies' asses till they accepted the currency at face value. But unfortunately,
now, in regards to that, you'll only be able to do that within your own territory, in your own land. But in terms of trying to do outside trade, you won't be, unless you actually have your money actually has some value to it. You won't be able to do that. If you did, then you'll be waging war. And considering how he just keeps on printing worthless money, you won't be able to afford it. So yeah.
Fortunately, kicking old ladies' asses can't solve everything. In the summer of 1927, Shandong was hit with a famine caused primarily by drought. At the time, many people prayed to ZongChang, a folk deity, in an attempt to bring rain to these crusty lands. But ZongChang, he don't get on his knees for nobody. He walked right up to the statue in Xian's temple, starts bitch slapping it, tells it to go fornicate with its sister, and then has his artillery crew fire shells straight into the sky for hours on end to show that.
Wow, that's. I don't agree what he's. I don't like what he did there, but that's kind of badass. And I'm just imagining the shells he just fired just raining down upon him as backfire.
God who he's dealing with. Sources differ on when the next rain was, but it did eventually rain, so in the end, ZongChang got the last laugh. Speaking of which, our boy was also a renowned poet. Here's a piece he wrote about that very event. The sky god is also named Zhang. Why does he make life hard for me? If it doesn't rain in 3 days, I'll demolish your temple, then I'll have cannons bombard your mom. Truly prophetic.
That's not bad, but also not good. It's a medium. It's a 3-star poem.
He's got a few other good ones too. Let me just dim the lights real quick. Yeah. This one's called Visiting Mount Tai. From afar, Mount Tai looks blackish, narrow on top and wide at the bottom. If you flipped it upside down, it would be narrow at the bottom and wide on top.
That's in regards to that 0 stars. That's just an observation, not a poem. And also, I was kind of thinking Sam was just joking, but I can't believe he's actually serious about this. These are actual real poems, wow.
I like that one a lot, because it's like he heard about metaphors without realizing they're supposed to have a second meaning. This one's titled Poem About Bastards. You tell me to do this, he tells me to do that. You are all bastards, go fuck your mother. Poignant. But unlike.
Wow. I'm not even gonna rate to that one. I'm not gonna. No.
Most poets, besides E.E. Cummings and Emily Dickinson, Zhang was quite well endowed.
I don't know who those are, but whatever.
He was often referred to as General 86, as when Zhang Jr. stood up straight, he could reportedly reach the length of 86 Mexican silver dollars stacked atop one another.
Why Mexican dollar coins, to be specific? Why specifically Mexican dollar coins? Sorry, I said that twice.
Given a thickness of 2.4 millimeters, this would put him at around 20.6 centimeters or 8.1 inches. That's a special.
Well, good for him, I guess.
Actually impressive given that he was likely malnourished during puberty due to both poverty and the 1896 famine. You racist. I thought of a few other jokes about this, but I couldn't fit them in the narrative, so I'll just rattle them off. Should have been called the horse meat general. When he got out of the pool, he was General 12. This one just says dong hung dong. You get the point. But all great things must eventually come to an end. After suffering a series of defeats at the hands of his enemies and a subsequent failed rebellion against a quickly reunifying China, Zhang was forced to run away in 1928, bringing his mom with him to Beppu, Japan. His time here was relatively uneventful, except for when he shot a former prince in the back for trying it on with one of his concubines. In court, he said the gun just happened to go off while he was pointing it at the center of the guy's mask. For some reason, they're like, nothing suspicious here. Gave him the choice between 15 days in prison or a $150 fine.
Wait, what? The guy shoots a former prince of Japan and you sentence him to either 15 days in jail or a $150 fine. I would like to go back in time with a machine that reads minds and see what the judge was thinking about at that time during the trial.
He chose the latter. Zhang's story finally came to an end in 1932 when he went back to Shandong not as a conqueror but as a visitor. Unfortunately, it seems it takes people more than 4 years to get over murder because he was unceremoniously assassinated by the nephew of an officer that he had executed. All in all, Zhang
fun fact, he was actually shot rather than stabbed to death. That's one more thing I know about the guy. And this just goes to show that not all assassinations come with some really big group that's behind, you know, like I'm having a hard time explaining. Most assassinations aren't done by outside forces who send in some special forces to assassinate someone. Sometimes it's just some regular civilian who's just really angry at the guy, so yeah.
Zhang left behind quite a strange legacy. Given the litany of horrible crimes that I've seemed to kind of gloss over, he's generally regarded as the stinkiest stain of an already messy portion of the tapestry that is Chinese history. The only remaining question is if one can truly separate the art from the artist. During his rule, Time
Actually, yeah, you can separate art from the artist. Like in regards to Adolf Hitler, sure, he was a monster, but his paintings are actually cost a lot, and one of his paintings I think actually sold for $150,000. So yeah, in regards to that, you absolutely can separate the art from the artist.
Magazine described him as China's basest warlord. I'll let you decide whether or not they forgot the DE. That's all for today. Till next time, I'm Salmonella, and I'm hiding in your fridge.
Get out of my fridge, Sam. Get out of my fridge and go back to making another video for us. But anyway, yeah, this was a really good video. I have nothing else to say really. I've given most of my input other than yeah, Sam, please don't keep us waiting longer than last time. So yeah, anyway, if you like this video, please hit that like and subscribe. Check out my Facebook page, link is in the description. So the link to the original video by Salmonella, go check him out, he's great and whatever. Okay, bye!